Hey, what's up? My name is J.M. Chaley and welcome to my channel. I want to talk about my short story. I announced a teaser a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago, I want to say. And I want to give you the details because it is ready to be released. It's ready for pre-order, actually. Right now, it's ready to be pre-ordered on ebook. So I'm going to get right into the details. First of all, the short story itself takes place in the same universe, the same plot, story, whatever, as the Unlife of Lisa Cooper. This short story ties into those events. However, it is a standalone story, so you don't need to be reading the Unlife of Lisa Cooper to be able to read and understand and follow, the short story itself. It stands alone. But hey, why wouldn't you read the Unlife of Lisa Cooper? It's doing really well on Kindle Vella. It's been a top fave title for 6 weeks now? 7 weeks? It's been 6 or 7 weeks now in the top fave. That's within the top 250 titles out of tens of thousands of Kindle Vella titles. Hitting upwards of 108 I got one time. So that's doing really, really well. And I want to say thank you to everyone that's supported the title, that's been reading and giving me thumbs ups and leaving reviews and just supporting me, and thank you so much for reading. I'm so happy you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying writing it, and that's part of the reason I wanted to do this short story, because it expands on that story. It expands on that universe. It goes a little bit deeper, and I wanted to give a little bit more. And that's why I'm offering this short story as only 99 cents, because I want you to have it. I want you to just get the story and get plugged in and know that extra level, that extra detail that goes a little bit deeper into what's going on in this particular story. And the short story takes place right before episode 22. So if you're reading the Unlife of Lisa Cooper, we're currently on episode 28, I want to say, as of this recording. So you're well into this particular problem, this particular story arc. This is the background, it ties into it. Let's just leave it at that. So without further ado, let's get into the details of the short story. The title of the story is The Wicked Wound of Whitney Hill. And here is the cover. And I spent a lot of time on this cover. I did it myself because I knew it was just going to be, not just, but it was going to be a short story. I didn't have the time or resources for this particular project that I felt I wanted to allocate hundreds of dollars into a professional book cover. So I made it myself. So first of all, what is Whitney Hill? What is that? So this particular story takes place in and around, it's in Massachusetts, but there's a park in Watertown, Massachusetts called Whitney Hill Park. And I chose this park as the place for all the stuff to happen because it's in the town of Watertown, where Brian, one of the characters in the Unlife of Lisa Cooper, he's a vampire, he's friends with Lisa, he has a territory in the Watertown, Massachusetts area. He lives in Watertown. So, for story reasons, the stuff needed to take place in this town. So I went into Google Maps and I was looking for wooded areas. Where could a big supernatural fight or a problem or a thing happen in the middle of nowhere in Watertown? Wooded area or something like that. And this big rectangular, L-shaped zone of green appeared in the middle of Watertown and said Whitney Hill Park. I'm like, perfect. This looks big. It looks like the size of a couple of neighborhoods. It's, ideal. This is great. So I started writing The Unlife of Lisa Cooper, and I'm like, oh yeah, Whitney Hill Park. We're going to go there and check out the thing, all this kind of stuff. Then when I started writing this short story, I thought, you know, I really want to get into this park and really write about the details and describe it. They're going into it, they're there, and all this kind of stuff. So I said to my wife, let's go to Whitney Hill Park. It's like a 50-minute drive. I've never been there. Watertown's just outside of Boston. I don't, go to Watertown often. There's not a lot for me to do there, and I don't work near there or anything like that. I don't have family or friends that live up there these days. I had a friend that was living there for a while, but he's moved out. And I'm like, I want to see this park for myself. So I get to the park, and that big, giant L-shaped rectangle that I assumed was wooded area, well, most of that was a football field with a parking lot and bleachers around it with a very narrow strip of wooded area that they called a conservation area because that was the last remnants of Whitney Hill Woods or whatever that they logged to death hundreds of years ago or whatever, 100 years ago. But you walk through the woods and you can see houses. And I'm like, this is not ideal for a big supernatural thing to take place because anybody could look out their window and go, oh, look, a werewolf, So, that was my problem. But I had already published episodes of the Kindle Vella series talking about them going to Whitney Hill. So I was married to it. I said, all right, you know what? Yeah, this is part of the problem. They have to go there and do this thing, and they're in full sight of these houses. People might be able to see what's going on. The police could show up, whatever. All these threats now are part of the problem. So, that's a learning curve for me. That's a lesson learned for me. Research my shit and go on these field trips before I publish my work. Okay, so that's what Whitney Hill is. The Wicked Wound of Whitney Hill is about the Peabody Coven. I talked about that in my teaser video I did for this short story, right? It's about the Peabody Coven, and these 7 women are part of this coven, and they're all dissimilar magic users. They're all spellcasters of some kind. Not all of them cast spells in the traditional sense that we think of, like wizards, but some of them have some sort of magic, some sort of enchantment, some sort of hocus pocus. I don't know. They're all different in what they do. And the story, by the way, this coven has made appearances in the Unlife of Lisa Cooper. In previous episodes, we meet them. If you've been reading the series, you know who they are. You know that they've helped Lisa solve mysteries and helped her divine things and find things out. So you know that this is an established group of characters that I've already introduced, but this is their story. Lisa's not in it. And it talks about their adventure and what they do prior to the events that kick off in episode 22 of The Unlife of Lisa Cooper. So let's meet the cast of The Wicked Wound of Whitney Hill, the Coven, the Peabody Coven. So first of all, in no particular order, we have Alice Winters. Alice is one of the youngest members of the Coven. She is, her magics come from divination. She's a fortune teller. She's a seer, what have you. She uses tarot. She uses runes. She can roll the bones. She can read your tea leaves, all that kind of stuff. Whatever it takes for, be it a crystal ball or whatever. She's got all the tools needed to tell someone's fortune. Next is Soo-Hyun Park. Soo-Hyun is a mudang, and that is like a shaman. And what Soo-Hyun is able to do is make these talismans called bujaks. And bujaks are, you can Google them. They're very pretty. They're these yellow strips of paper, almost like a bookmark, but I would think a little bit wider, with Hangul written on them, Korean writing, Korean characters written on them, and they're used for enchantments, wards, talismans. They're protection, good fortune. You might want to carry them on you if you want to be lucky or find love or be protected from evil and that sort of thing. And Soo-Hyun's abilities are very strong, so she can put one on you and protect you physically from the things that go bump in the night. Then there's Jennifer Miles. Jennifer Miles is the only witch in the coven. She is a witch, as you would think. She uses components and she brews potions and she does all the kind of witchy things that you may think of. She doesn't ride on a broom or anything like that. She doesn't use a wand, but she's more of your traditional, witch. And she follows a lot of the classic teachings of witchcraft. When you think of witchcraft in Massachusetts, if you've heard of Laurie Cabot and some of the established known witches that live in Massachusetts, she's based off of those types of women, some of which who have been made famous through Salem, Massachusetts. Then there's Brenda DeRoches. Brenda is descended from the Wampanoag tribe, and she has some Wampanoag ancestry in her bloodline. And through her shamanistic powers or healing powers through her ancestry, she has connection to the spirit world. And she can speak to spirits and talk to them and work with them and work magics through their powers and offer healing through their graces. Then we have Sophie Hunter. Sophie is a druid in the traditional Celtic sense when it comes to all the natural magics and things like that, the trees and the not so much the spirits, that's more Brenda, but the flora and fauna of the world and the connection to Gaia, Mother Earth, and all this kind of stuff. Sophie is probably number 2 in the coven, and she is very much on the same wavelength as Brenda in the sense of very natural, earthy kind of magics. And also Marisol Castro. Marisol Castro is the 6th member. Again, I'm doing these in no particular order. Marisol's magic is rooted in indigenous Caribbean magic, particularly the Arawak people. And hers is also very earthy, natural magic from the sky and the ocean, particularly. What's interesting about the Arawak people is that Tituba, if you've heard of Tituba, from Salem, Massachusetts, Tituba was the original woman accused of witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts. She was in prison. She was never actually killed like the other poor women that suffered unnecessarily for these crazy accusations. But she was the one that they saw what she was doing and thought it was witchcraft and started the whole hysteria. But Tituba was of Arawak ancestry herself, and Marisol Castro is as well. And finally, there is Andrea McShane. Andrea is the leader of the coven, and her power is to take all the different dissimilar magics of the other women and combine them into great effects. So you basically have one woman in the middle, everyone else joins hands, and whatever that person is doing, let's say Alice is trying to read someone's fortune, now you have 6 other women amplifying her powers, because Andrea can take all the different types of magics, combine them together into raw energy that she can lend to the caster or the enchanter in the middle of the circle, and create these wondrous, powerful effects, amplifying. So the book goes into a little bit of that too. So that's the cast, that's the coven, the 7 women of the coven. The Wicked Wound of Whitney Hill. It was actually going to be called The Wicked Wound of Whitney Hill Woods, because that's what I really doubled down on the alliteration. My wife thought it was a bit much. So The Wicked Wound of Whitney Hill is available right now for pre-order. It's being released for sale on December 21st on ebook. Paperback is something I want to do as well, but I need to get my proof back and make sure that it's possible. Stay tuned on this channel for updates on the paperback version. Once I get my proof, I'll see if it's doable. Amazon kind of complained that my spine might be too narrow to handle a printed copy because it's only 44 pages. It's a short story, and I can't do a hardcover, by the way, because I need 77 pages for it to be a hardcover in the size that I elected, unless I made it like really small, maybe. But for now, I can't do a hardcover because I just don't have enough pages. I'm trying to do a soft cover. We'll see if it works. If I can, then I'll release a paperback as well. But right now, it's available for pre-order on ebook for 99 cents. If you buy it now, you'll get it on Wednesday, December 21st. And if you're seeing this video after December 21st, 2022, you can get it right now. Go grab it, download it, it's yours. But for right now, 99 cents. It's going to stay 99 cents because I want you to have it. I want you to get the book and dig into it and understand what happened before the events of 22 and why the wicked wound of Whitney Hill is such a big deal. And if you've been reading The Unlife of Lisa Cooper and you're watching this video, you know what's going on in Whitney Hill Woods. And you're probably thinking, oh, yes. And the book is going to go into all of that. It's going to talk about how the wound happened. I guess I can reveal there's a wound, right? It's in the title. How the wound happened, what the deal is, what's going on, and how the coven has been involved and how they know what's going on. So that about wraps it up. The Wicked Wound of Whitney Hill, 99 cents, available for pre-order right now. Go check it out. Go grab it. Would love for you to read it. I'd love for you, if you enjoyed it, I'd love for you to give a review. What else? Thank you for watching, sticking with this video all this time. I had a fun time writing it. It was a blast. It's a fun little story. It's got a lot of adventure and laughs. And, you know, it's in the realm of Lisa Cooper, so you know what to expect, right? It's all that kind of setting. All right, that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely stay with this channel for more updates, and definitely follow me on social media and keep in touch with everything that's going on. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And yeah, I will see you next time.